welcome to Total Pole Nation, Lambo's Water Sports, featuring the Big Brother. We're going to go over these Week 2 NFL recaps. So this one is the 3 primetime games that it'd be most fun to watch. Number 1 would be the Chiefs and the Jaguars. 2 would be the Dolphins and Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Number 3 would be the 49ers and Rams. They both battle twice a year. The 49ers have won 8 straight victories. By the way, 2 years ago, they competed for the NFC Championship game when we thought it was Jimmy G last year. Then he came back. So the first game I'll go over is the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Both of these teams, by the way, played for the AFC Divisional round last year. It was a very, very close game. The turnovers came down to it. Who's going to win this game, and who's the better quarterback, Trevor Lawrence or Patrick Mahomes? And by the way, Chris Jones is back in practice. They got a contract. It's like they didn't add any years, but they added some incentives in his contract. And Travis Kelce is back to practice. But who's the better quarterback, Trevor Lawrence or Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, it's still Pat. Excuse me, it's still Pat. I don't really think this debate could be had for another couple years unless Trevor starts, playing up to that level at the consistency that Pat has done it at. So I still think it's Pat. I don't really think there's much of a debate there. My prediction for the game is 27-24. Chiefs win last second. Pat has a game-winning drive like he does. Chris Jones is back, like you said. Kelce is back. Just the wide receivers can't suck again. That's the big thing, especially with how good the Jags have looked. They did battle with the Colts. So, the Colts aren't the best team. So it was a little concerning to see how tight that was, but maybe I'm just sleeping on the Colts. ETN is a dog. Wide receivers are solid. And, just because I'm not going to put Trevor above Pat doesn't mean that Trevor isn't that guy. He's still an unbelievable quarterback. So I do think it's going to be tight. The line is 3.5 for the Chiefs. I think the Jags cover that line, making it a 3-point game. Over-under's 51. I think that's going to be a push. I think it's going to hit 51 right on the nose. 27-24. It's going to be a super entertaining game. It's in this episode as a super fun game to watch for a reason. It's going to be electric.
Betting wise, I want to pick the Chiefs, but I think I put money line or over. I'm not sure. The over is going to be kind of the issue. The reason why is because when you bring Chris Jones back, the defense was solid against the Lions, by the way. They just beat themselves on offense as far as a trick play that was ran to the side on 4th and 1 against the Lions, the drop balls. Kadarius Toney goes out and criticizes his former team of the Giants and then gets blasted by Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp. He can't take the heat. So I don't know if he's mad about the Giants releasing him, but no more drop balls can happen. But we are forgetting here that the Jaguars have Calvin Ridley. We forgot that he was suspended last year for gambling. So Calvin Ridley is the center of attention. It is the focus. You have Travis Etienne. It wasn't a really good run game last week for Travis Etienne. 10 carries, 77 yards. Or 18, my bad, 77 yards. It wasn't a good game against the Colts, but the Colts are a new team. Yeah, Calvin Ridley last week with 8 receptions, 101 yards, and a touchdown. But I think as far as for Pat Mahomes, they're going to catch some balls. You got Travis Kelce back. The tight end spot wasn't great, but it's not an excuse why they couldn't win. It was only within a 1-point game, so they beat themselves. I think the key receiver you can watch out for in this game is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who is a former Green Bay Packer under Aaron Rodgers when they played back then, so you can watch out for him as well. Kadarius Toney could step up his game as well, but also at the same time, like you said, in the Chiefs and Lions game, they need to run the ball more or effectively because the run game was not so well. You can use Sky Moore in the running game. Yeah, you use Sky Moore to run the game. You can use Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So the only way the Chiefs win this game, I'm going to pick the Chiefs. It'll be maybe like 35-32. It's going to be some high scoring. But the only way the Chiefs stay in this one is that they can run the ball. I'm not going to be upset if Jacksonville pulls this off, but it's early in the season. I don't expect the Kansas City Chiefs to be 0-2. Would that be a good storyline? Yes, of course, but I just don't see that happening. The Chiefs are going to win, but I'm not going to be upset if Jacksonville pulls it off. The next game is week 2 of the favorites, Sunday Night Football prime time, the Dolphins versus the Patriots. Ooh, I like what the schedule in the NFL did. Very early, they put the Patriots on prime time on Sunday night, week 2. By the way, the Dolphins and the Patriots play each other week 2 and week 18. So it's not about who's the better quarterback between Tua and Mac Jones. It's not really that. Tua's obviously better. He has weapons. But it comes down to X's and O's here. All right. Tyreek Hill, by the way, I've heard from Ocho Cinco is on pace to get about 2,000 yards receiving or to get 1,300 yards receiving by week 10. And I saw that. I think that's going to motivate a Bill Belichick defense. By the way, the Patriots did not play bad for the first game. The offense can move the ball. I'm concerned with defense. You got to stop Tyreek Hill. You got to stop Jaylen Waddle. The game is at home in Gillette Stadium. Who do you got on top between the Dolphins and the Patriots?
It's tough. It's tough. So, I mean, the Dolphins, like you said, like Tyreek's pace to get X amount of yards by week 8. When you look at how they played, how the Chargers played the Dolphins, they were doing press coverage on Tyreek with one safety back. What coach is game planning that, bro? And so, like, you can't bet on Belichick to make coaching mistakes like that. And it wasn't just like 1 or 2 plays. Obviously, Tyreek had over 200 yards receiving. Like, it was a consistent thing they were doing throughout that game. They were in press coverage. They only had one safety back. And when you have Jaylen Waddle on the other side of the field, there's just no way that you can expect to have a good game defensively against 2 of the most explosive players in the league, and especially the most explosive player in the league, fastest player in the league in Tyreek Hill. So I don't anticipate Bill making that same mistake. So, Tua throwing for 466 isn't going to happen. I do think this game is going to be much lower scoring than the game against the Chargers. And the Patriots defense is just way better than the Chargers defense is in general, regardless of the weapons that they have over there in Los Angeles. So my prediction here is that the Patriots are going to pull this off, and I really don't want to regret this. And I don't like going with you on the Patriots because I like our back and forth battles with our teams. But I do think the Patriots pulled this one off. Tua's getting a little spicy in his interviews. He's giving some guys some attitude, and I like that. I think you like that from your quarterback. You like that from your leaders. But Tua hasn't lost to Bill yet in his career as a starter. So as like a full-time starter. So I think this is the game that it happens. I'm taking the Patriots by 7 in this game.
Of course, I'm going to take my Patriots, but I have some concerns here. I have very good concerns. The Patriots, at times against these good teams, can't stop the run. Raheem Mostert, by the way, was a great running back for the 49ers. Great running back. So I'm very concerned about the run game. Can we stop the run? I'm very concerned about the penalties that we have as well. The penalties really hurt us in the last game. So it just comes down to the Patriots. Do your job, Waddle. Do not beat yourselves. That's what's going to come down to. Can we not beat ourselves? Can we stay ahead? I wouldn't say the last game we figured out the Eagles in the second quarter, but they didn't really do too much after, the second half. So for the Dolphins, we can't let them go to a fast start. As far as for the Patriots offense, they got to get the run game going with Rondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott because it was pretty bad. But the Eagles D-line is great. But the running game wasn't that good. Matt Jones had to throw 54 times. Didn't really like it. Also, as far as technique-wise, the receivers got to drag the foot in. He got to drag the foot in. That's what cost us the game. They dragged the damn foot in. I'm very mad about that. I'm still mad about that to this day. That's a simple thing. He's a rookie or whatever, but it's a very, very, very simple thing. So, I'm not sure what the score is going to be because I watch Patriot games at a close friend's house of mine, and there's certain rules when you go to Jake Green's dad's house and Mr. Green, who I obviously respect a long time. You can't say things like you can't. Well, you can be confident, but you can't say we're going to win this game. You can't guarantee wins. So if I go over there, I can't really guarantee a win. But in my house, I guarantee a win. So I'm not going to be overconfident about this. Like I said, we were 0-2. If we're 0-2, it's whatever. I want to be 1-1 because, like I said, we got a tough schedule going forward after because we got the Jets, then we got the Cowboys, then we got the Saints. It's not a very easy schedule. The Patriots do play the hardest schedule in the NFL. A lot of top-notch playoff teams. And the Jets is going to be a good one if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt. I'd love to see that matchup, but that's not the case. So I don't have a score for the Patriots game because you don't never know. You don't know if it's going to be a defensive game or if the Patriots are going to score enough 30-plus points. I just want the win as far as the Patriots. So the Patriots will pull this win off, but they have to not beat themselves. So I'm still concerned about that until Sunday night. There's going to be jitters probably in the first quarter of how we're going to stop Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle. So we're gonna use a lot of safeties, and it's going to look like cover one, but the safety's going to come over there and do whatever. So last primetime game, 49ers versus the Rams. Coach Bald on the Life Lessons podcast 12 days ago or 13 days ago. He tore his pec. I'm not sure when he will be back on the show. But I'll tell you this, as far as this, the 49ers versus the Rams. I said the Rams will be a playoff contender. People look at me like I'm crazy. The 49ers, the Rams. The Rams are not going to have back-to-back losing seasons. We're forgetting about the Rams here. The Rams run the ball in a very different style. They spread you out and run the ball. They got Kyron Williams, who's a former Notre Dame running back. Excellent. Sean McVay has added some new assistants to his staff. The 49ers, by the way, did win 8 straight games against the Rams. So they played each other in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. So this is always a battle. Very early in the season, like I said. Who is coming off on top and who has the better defense? Rams still have Aaron Donald. They don't have Jalen Ramsey. They're missing some corners. Who has the better defense and who would play better at the quarterback position? Matt Stafford or Brock Purdy? Those are your 2 questions.
So, I definitely think that Stafford is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. I've been on that for weeks. I've been saying that Brock Purdy is just super good at managing this offense. The Shanahan offense, you can talk to anybody that knows the NFL. The Shanahan offense is one of the best offenses in the league, regardless of who is at quarterback. In terms of defense, the Niners. I think the Niners have the best defense in the league. Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the league, in my opinion. And I'm going to go with the Niners in the game for the win until they, give me a reason not to. I said it multiple times at this point. I think the Niners have probably the most complete team in the league on paper, at least. And until they show me on the field that it's not worth betting on them to win, I'm going to continue to do it. And that's no disrespect to the Rams. They definitely shocked me against the Seahawks last week. But, this is still one of the youngest teams in the league. And I'm not putting my money on them to beat the best defense in the league. Puka, the receiver that had 15 targets, 10 receptions for the Rams. He did a great job, but I just think this is a different animal, man. It's a different beast. And I'm riding with the best defense in the league until they give me a reason not to.
Well, as I'm trying to peak my 13 pick parlay, if I put in $5 and win $12,750, I'm trying to look through, and I'm going with the upset on this one. The Rams will win at home. The Rams, yes, will win at home. By the way, here's a key thing. Mike LaFleur, who is the brother of Matt LaFleur, is the offensive coordinator. So the Shanahan tree grows. Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan work together, and with the Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them. Mike LaFleur comes in from, the 49ers, the Jets, and brings in the same 49ers concepts that the Rams are running this year. So there's going to be a lot of similarities as far as run game, personnel, and all those things like that. So it brings in an open set of eyes. After 2 years ago, they lost Kevin O'Connell, who was the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, who was the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. So that's going to bring a very, very key factor in why the Rams are better this year at running the football, because they're bringing the same concept as 49ers are. And by the way, they have one of the former Patriot assistants as well. So they're kind of trying to run the ball the way the 49ers do. They're trying to run the ball physically like the Patriots do as well. So it's a copycat lead. But if you really watch the game, watch the run concepts and how they do it. Matt Stafford, he can change the plays at the line of scrimmage. Cooper Kupp, like I said, is out for about 3 more weeks. But we'll see how this goes. But is it? Yes. Awesome. It's 3 more weeks. But I hope those receivers can get some numbers as well. But this is it for Lambo's World of Sports. Our next episode, we're going to recap all the other games. So we'll see everybody's opinion on all the other games, but these are the 3 main ones to watch out for. Sunday is for football. It's for nothing else. Sunday's for the boys as well. So Lambo's World of Sports featuring Sideline Sports Network. We will be back for more football in the next 5 minutes. Totem Pole Nation, catch you later on. Peace out.